Thanks to everyone who have subscribed. If you have not, please do. And thanks for coming out here. I really appreciate you. Breaking news. African nations turn the tables. Imposes travel ban restriction against the US, Europe, and China over, you know what it is now, the thing when they happen. Several African nations have imposed travel restrictions from high-risk Western countries to combat COVID-19, the potentially deadly respiratory disease caused by the coronavirus. COVID-19 has killed over 6,000 people worldwide and infected more than 162,000 others, according to the virus tracker maintained by Johns Hopkins, promoting several African nations to act fast, even though there are still less than 300 confirmed cases by Sunday evening. Ghana and Kenya were the first two African countries to announce new measures prohibiting travelers from countries affected by COVID-19. The Democratic Republic of Congo imposes quarantine measures on travelers from Italy, France, China, and Germany. Several reports said after restricting travelers from high-risk countries to quarantine measures, deported 19 Italian tourists and Tunisians deported 30 other Italians from violating theirs. Rwanda, Uganda, Mali, and others have imposed similar quarantine measures for European travelers, while across the continent passengers are scanned from their temperature at international airports. A Cameroonian news outlet reported high arrivals from Italy due to people trying to escape their coronavirus infected countries. The Inception reported the Nigerian vice president, the former Nigerian vice president Atiku Abubakar called on Africa's most populous country to impose travel restriction on President Muhammadu Buhari has set up a task force to combat the virus, though he has not restricted or called for travel restriction or ban. In a long statement on Sunday, President Cyril declared a national state of disaster using the Disaster Management Act. This will enable us to have an integrated, coordinated disaster management mechanism that will focus on preventing and reducing the outbreak of this virus. We will be able to set up emergency, rapid, and effective response system to mitigate the severity of its impact, he said. Many domestic measures are also being put in place. For instance, Senegal and Kenya have announced school closures. But your country, Nigeria, never do anything. I tell you, say, this Buhari, this is not Buhari. This is our president called Muhammadu Buhari. A reaction pace, I don't want to call her slow. I don't want to call her slowly mental. But a reaction pace. Countries will not reach Nigeria, don't they put restriction, especially from those coming from Italy. By the time the thing enter the country, shebi, you know where they go, abi. Anyone will say that they worry Nigeria, now it has now this coronavirus go enter. Anyone will say now they cause trouble for this country, straight to their house. So you don't hear, well, will they give you address so where to attend to when you enter this country? Since the president no one preserve and protect the lives of the people of the country, you see and say no love for the people of Nigeria. You see and say from government, no love, no love. If they really love the Nigerians, if they really love their people, see what other countries are doing. See measures other countries are putting in place to make sure that their people are safe and things are going well in the country. But your president, Babani, you know they move. They just stay there, they talk anything. Now until the thing don't reach, maybe it don't affect one of your picking. Or can understand say it ain't not rich. So if we're not rich in house, they react. Countries will not reach Nigeria. Countries that are not up to Nigerians, you could hear the name of the countries, yeah, that have mentioned that they are working on it or they are taking steps to curb this monarch and this endemic that is claiming the lives of people all over the country. But yet, President Muhammadu Buhari has not said anything. All he's thinking about is the crude oil price. Remember, he has requested for 22.7 US dollars loan, and because of this coronavirus, we know that they go give him the loan, because everybody, all man eye dey shook, all eye dey shook, So Nigerians, we don't know what this man how he dey really do. I dey tell you, you know you will not really understand them, because where he should speak, he doesn't really speak. Where he should be laying emphasis and pressure on to make sure that Nigeria move forward and become a great nation and become a competitive nation in the 21st century. He's not doing that. He's not really working in that line or capacity. All he's talking about is the price of crude oil. The countries there is, but you came into power with the assurance that you were working on farm produce as well, to make sure that Nigeria begins to export. So what's been happening to that? Does it mean that you've been lying all along, or you've never really done anything in that to that effect? Could it mean that you're just saying that as a distraction? Because the figures are there, how much you guys have spent on agriculture, and you've been in power now for 5 years. Is enough time for growth and beginning to see development in this area. We have cocoa, we have palm oil, we have other things that we can export, and we will not feel it. Before the discovery of crude oil in Nigeria, Nigeria was doing very well. As a matter of fact, when we discovered crude oil, it made the naira became so strong that teachers, my father told me that he was taught, his English teacher was from the United Kingdom. They came to work in Nigeria to earn naira, to change to pounds, because naira was higher. I tell you sincerely, those are the stories my parents told us, that the white people taught them in school why the naira was strong, because we were majoring and focusing on our agricultural products. And it was, everybody was on the farmland, everybody had a piece of farm here and there, and Nigeria was booming, the economy was doing fine. We were very high in exports of our agricultural products, and Nigeria was fine. There was safety. There was no Boko Haram. Where did those start? No Boko Haram. No kidnappers, no different bomber kind of people. No, all those ones they not deal. So there was safety. People go to the farm from dawn to dusk, and they see the effect in the economy and everything that has been happening. Guess what? The discovery and the advent of crude oil even made Nigerian naira stronger. Buhari came into power saying, fuel subsidy na 419, na evil, they deceive una. When I enter power, no fuel subsidy, una go see and say Nigeria. But na lie. It's all political talk, my people. They are all birds of same feather, in my opinion. And I believe I'm entitled to that. In my opinion, I want to sincerely and really say here that anyone who has run Nigeria in any form or kind, as little as a local government chairman, should not hold any political party or position moving forward. We need fresh brains, fresh hands, fresh initiatives, fresh ideas to move Nigeria, to steer Nigeria in the right direction. At this time and at this day, there are still schools. Children still go to school with no food in their tummy. The schools have no roof, no decks. Yet they spend those money and send their children abroad to school. If you invest that money, every governor, if you come into power for your first tenure, you face only education. Don't face the road, don't face hospital, just education. Make sure all the government schools are of international standard. You are on top of it. Guess what? People will even be leaving the other states to bring their children to your states to school. That the schools there have international standard. Then your second tenure, you face on the health. Guess what? You will not leave. Look at Donald Duke. I can confidently talk about him today because he left something good in Calabar. He did something well. They said the whole road everywhere was spotless, clean. People were going there for tourist attraction to see for themselves what this man has done. You leave your footprint in the sound of time. That's the truth. Why do we come there with a mentality to steal only? Most of them. I want to say a big thank you to all of you out there listening. What do you think? Buhari has not responded to travel ban or restriction or any form of quarantine from those that are coming from abroad. I would like to hear your take on the matter. Please don't forget to like, to share, to subscribe. Click on the notification button so you can get all our latest news. God bless. Have a good day. Bye.